Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You remember that song?
I do remember, but I don't know what it's from.
Me neither. Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, yeah, I do remember that song though. But anyway, y'all. Hey, I'm Low.
And I'm your girl Al. What's going on?
This is episode 24 of Don't Listen to Me podcast. Today we just really gonna just be shooting the ish. Y'all see the title. I don't know if everybody watches this show, but we're gonna talk about it. It's a really good show. I actually took notes, some notes that I wanted to say.
Oh, you fancy, huh? You fancy, huh?
I made some cakes. Sidebar, I made some rotel dip, and I always be feeling like once I cook something, and if I don't immediately clean the dishes, I can smell it. So let me light a candle because I feel like it's a little rank. Give me, go on and tell them what's up with you.
I cannot deal with this child here.
I gotta go upstairs.
Well,
Hold on, I gotta go get my candle.
get your good candle. It's probably from Haley's line. And shout out to Haley. And what is it? Haley's candle. I'm trying to find it. We've posted it enough times in our description, guys. Just follow her. Haley's candles smell so good, and the body scrub. Now let's talk about this new setup behind Leaux that she has going on. Come on.
You are exactly right.
Yay!
Hey, David.
Hey, David, what's going on?
I watched that clip that you sent me last week, bro. That was hilarious. I just want to say, what the heck? Y'all would never
It's
believe.
real out here.
You can't talk about it, but development from last week's episode that y'all would never in a million years believe.
But we could put it out there because y'all would be like, what the F? How did that all tie in together? But our mom would kill us. So
yeah.
We would die like real life. So never mind. But thank you for joining us, David. I hope you've had an amazing week so far. And all of you guys that will join later on and listen, at your own leisure sometime in the near future. Okay.
Exactly. So, sis, let's get right on into it. Thank y'all for letting me get my vibe right. What you drinking?
Ooh, girl. Let me tell you. All right. So I'm doing something different today. I've been dry this week. I usually try to do a dry week once a month. This is my dry week, so I'm sipping on my tea.
Oh,
my little prayer cup.
Hey.
It's my favorite little cup right here. And I have a little, because it's hot. Georgia can't make up its mind. It's so hot. I just had to turn on the air, so I might be a little hot. So I got me a little body hydration. It ain't hydration, it's armor, but it's hydration for me. What you drinking, sis?
Girl, good old high quality H2O.
H2O, baby.
This is my first month joining you on the dry week, so I'm doing the dry week as well. Y'all let us know what y'all drinking. If you're dry, if you're not, we gonna do a fist bump since. Cheers, y'all, and cheers to y'all. Let's see what. Give me. I feel like I definitely did. I see you this weekend. What'd you get into this weekend, sis?
We actually didn't see each other this weekend. Actually, I had a pretty chill weekend. Weekends with the grandbaby be like, we have him every other weekend, and if his daddy's working, it's just on and popping in the house of you know who, our house. I was about to say our last name, but the last name of our house, whatever. We kicked it. I cooked. Yeah, I cooked all weekend pretty much. And then on Sunday, we took the grandbaby to, there's a fair out this way, at the mall. Or it was, the last day was Sunday. And we took that baby out there. And let me just say, this is the bravest 2-year-old I know. He was like, oh, I want to ride all the rides. And he was throwing a fit when he couldn't ride them. So we spent a lot of time riding the same rides again.
Oh,
because he could only ride like 3.
oh,
But it was cute, and we played a lot of little games. He was just walking around like he owned the place, not wanting to hold hands. And then we went to the mall and just good family time this weekend. So it was cool. It was cool. What you do? What you do? What you get into?
some time with the fam too. Brother B wanted to. He's been in his condo now for a little while, like a couple of years maybe, and he has
About
like
2 years.
yeah, he has a section in his condo that's I think normally would have been the designated dining room space, but he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make it like a reading and meditation kind of nook. So he had been asking me and Haley to help. We ended
Oh.
up going out, all of us. We went out to literally Home Goods. Between Home Goods and TJ Maxx, got everything.
How
And
does it look?
we're cute. I need to text you a picture of it.
Y'all siblings, man. Y'all something else. I should have been had that picture.
I know, but you know what? I didn't
I
even
should
have
have been had that picture.
because I didn't take a picture at his house, and I think Haley had took a picture, but she needed to clear some space up in her phone, and she ended up deleting the picture. Then I
Send it
text,
to me.
yeah, I text Brother B. I'm gonna have to find it in our text message.
Okay.
He texted me the a picture, but it's turned out cute.
Look, it turned out so nice.
It looks really good in person. The picture really, to me, doesn't do it justice.
It
So
just is okay. Okay.
it turned out
Yeah,
really,
that's a pretty big space. So I'm glad he was able to
and
put
he
something
really
there.
wanted just like extra seating in his spot. So I was like, oh yeah, it looks really nice, real cute.
Yay.
I want to say between that and yeah, I think that, and I just really watched. I watched John Wick, like all of the John Wick movies.
Well, that's random.
I know that's random. It was so much.
Oh, do they have a new one coming out?
Yes,
That's what it is. Okay.
that's why, because there was so much like marketing around that new one, and I ended up watching the first one on my flight when I was coming back from Portland, and child, I was like, oh, might as well watch these last two.
Finish them up. I'm gonna have to go back and watch them because I actually like them a lot. I just probably can't. I've only watched them one time, and it's been a while, so I probably need to refresh.
I had never seen them
Oh,
ever.
really? Okay.
This was my first time even watching it, but
Oh,
anyway,
chill.
it was a
Oh,
it was kind of a chill weekend for both of us. Y'all see my war wound though. This really what's been going on with me. I had a minor surgery.
hmm
I'm in recovery.
she's a soldier.
I am a no limit soldier to be exact. And y'all, I really think that just maybe drowsy medication, I'm just gonna have to stay
Stay
away.
away.
All
Steer clear. Yeah, steer clear.
one of the pain pills,
No deal.
no, it's not for me. I'll just be in pain. I feel like I'm gonna be recovering from that one pain medication for
Yeah.
the duration of the week. That's also why I'm drinking my water.
Flushing it out your system.
Yeah. Maybe this is me talking too much, but I was like, I'm not trying to be insensitive either.
Right.
But
Yeah.
how people get on like
It's a bit much.
out to everybody struggling with that, but that's too much. That was
Yeah, it's a bit much. And it's definitely, it's funny because I was watching The Voice last night, and I was just catching up on it. And one of the guys, it was so touching. I was in the room like literally crying tears, and
Oh,
he was talking about how his sister passed away from opioids before it was like such a heavy, you know, emphasis on them not being, good for you, blah, blah, blah. And he was saying how, he just wished she was proud of him and he wished she could be there. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I hope he gets sick. And he did.
that's so sweet though that he, honored her and
He
that
honored her.
girl.
Yeah.
Another sidebar. It it took me like 8 pharmacies to even get my
Oh,
prescription filled. Like I was actually in extreme pain. I'm like, I just had a surgery. I couldn't get it filled anywhere. So I'm up here
they're for real about those. Woo.
fired. There was no pharmacies that had it. But now that I called around and got
Now you,
I'm like, I'm not using
I
this.
don't even need this. What y'all trying to do to me?
Yeah, no, my arm can fall off for all I care.
I'm good. Tylenol it is.
Tylenol. I'm gonna just have to thug it out with that
Ibuprofen.
Tylenol. I was like, oh no,
No,
there
listen,
has
soldier,
to
you
be
got this.
around. I'm like, why is, and I'm
It's
me
potent.
a low dosage.
Yeah, yeah.
Anywho,
It can be potent. But I'm glad you're recovering well, sis.
me too, me too, me too.
You and your little war wound. Oh,
Hey, cuz.
hey, cuz, how you? How are you? How are you?
Oh,
Yeah. So,
real quick, he said, what are
oh yeah.
so David sent me another clip of, shout out to First Lady Nuck if you buck, from last week that we discussed. He sent me another clip where she actually did curse. So I'm sure my thoughts are the same as yours, David. I don't want to get too much into it because, like we said, there was another development that we kind of randomly came across.
That we cannot disclose.
But yeah, no, that was wild to me.
Listen, church folks cuss. Okay, me being one of them. But what I'm trying to say is, it wasn't the fact that it was just really out of line and out of order. Out of line and out of order. That's all I got to say. Out of line and out of order.
Period.
Okay, that's it. That's all.
Yeah. All right. So moving right along, those were our thoughts on that. We gotta talk about one of our favorite shows. You put me onto this show, or did I put you on? Who put who on? First season.
Ooh, that's a good question, though. I cannot remember, to be very, very honest. I feel like you put me on a lot of those shows, so I would bet you put me on. I would bet you did.
Yeah,
The one that I know I put you on was
The Circle.
the Circle, and the most recent one with all the cast members from the different shows. What's the name?
Perfect Match. I still haven't
Perfect
watched.
Match. Okay, you haven't watched that one, so yeah. So, guys, we appreciate y'all joining. We hope that y'all really get engaged in this, and if it's something that you're like, what the hell are they talking about? We just encourage you to maybe go watch it because it's so freaking good. But we have more things to discuss. We do want to give our honest to God opinion about the show Love is Blind. Me and Lauren have been watching it from the very first season.
Yeah, they're on their 4th season, but it's only been for 3 years. It came out in 2020.
Really?
The first season was in 2020. Yeah, but they're on their 4th season now.
Huh.
Now, yeah, they're cranking them out. So this season they are in
Do you
Seattle.
want to tell them what it's about, if for the people that may not know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this season they're in Seattle, Washington. Basically, the show they have 15 singles, 15 men, 15 women, and they all it's difficult to describe, but they're essentially in rooms like a
Right.
closed off room that's separated by I'm assuming it's a very thin wall where they can talk to each other,
Mm-hmm.
but can't see each other at all. They can hear each other, and they talk to each other. One couple even said they were on a date with this one person for 10 hours. So they were just talking to this person for 10 hours.
Yeah.
There's no phone, there's no TV. So yeah, they get to know this person over the course of, I believe, is 9 days. And if they
Mm-hmm.
get a connection, like a love connection, after the 15 singles have dated each other, they can propose on the 9th day or before. And whoever proposes, if they accept, then they get to meet each other face to face, go on like a little vacation. They move in with each other, and after a couple of weeks, on their wedding day, they can either say yes, I do at the altar, or no, I do not. And that's
Right.
the experiment. Is love truly blind? After you make this
Yeah.
connection without seeing this person, once you finally do see them and go back into the real world, can you sustain that same
Sustain. Yeah.
connection? So some couples have actually stayed married.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Lauren, the first season, I did take a few notes, but the first season, two couples got married, Lauren and Cameron, who were, I feel like, the favorite of the first season, and they are still out here thriving, and they actually live here in Atlanta. I actually personally know Lauren's stylist. Like, she
No
was
way.
my ex-employee when I worked the last position I worked at, and that's what she's been doing, trying to get into for a long time. And she styled her like multiple times, Lauren.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, they're the
Uh,
star couple for this whole show.
absolutely. I feel like they set the tone, but all these others to follow just, but
Coming up,
we'll get into it. Coming up a little short. So Lauren and Cameron got married without seeing each other. He proposed, she said yes, they got together, and at the altar they decided to, you know, continue with the marriage. So Lauren and Cameron were the first season, and Amber and Barnett. They're actually still married too. That was the first season. The second season was Ayana and Jared, and Danielle and Nick. I'm pretty sure, even though I feel like Danielle and Nick were like kind of, there was like nothing ever seemed to be wrong in their relationship. Like most of the couples, they'll tend to have drama, like a lot of drama, or a little drama. They had no drama, and they just kind of coasted. But then all of a sudden, I heard that they were no longer together. So Ayana and Jared, they had drama, not as much as the next season, but they had drama, and Jared is on my dislike list.
same.
What you feel? How you feel?
I felt like he was there for clout, like you say,
Absolutely.
and she was there for real. And I don't like that they cast people who are like, oh yeah,
Not really into
yeah,
this.
a player, and then I'm gonna just turn a new leaf, and just for this specific show, like, you should believe me that no longer am I for the streets. I really do want to settle down and make it last
I
forever.
want to be a part of this casting crew. I really try. You know what? Really, honestly, this is something to think about. Do you think that they are really going for everyone they feel like is really ready, or are they like, oh, we got to get a few loose cannons in there so we can, play up the. But why play with people's emotions like that?
It's all about the dollar bills.
Oh, you hit it, sis. You hit it. Dang
Girl,
it.
trying to make money. It's a show at the end of the day. It's a production.
You right.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, I love
Okay.
Ayana. She's such a cutie
I
patootie.
did too.
She'll be fine, child. Welcome to the
Yeah.
club, Ayana. You'll be all right. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that though.
Yeah, so that old scoundrel. And then the third season was Alexa and Brennan, which the most odd couple ever, but
Yes!
they seem to be just really, I mean, she's a rich girl. She ain't rich. She wealthy.
You
They
can
look
tell
wealthy.
Texas wealthy. They that was in Texas that season. Girl.
and Brennan just a little old country boy raised on a farm. He looked like Goofy. But he's cute.
So sweet, and they really were just like the most unlikely couple, but they're so endearing. They
Opposites really do attract, man. And then Colleen and Matt, I thought they were just the most they were dysfunctional.
Okay. Next.
I think both of them are on my dislike list because, well, they're just Colleen is just clueless. I feel bad for her. I don't know. So, but and then what am I getting this confused? What show was SK? SK, what season was he on?
That's 3 last season.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It was last season. That scoundrel. We already talked about him. He is on my
right.
Oh. If I ever see him in these streets.
He is a old dirty bird. I cannot believe
it. Dirty bird. So I had to get to SK just because I want to talk. I want us to go through every single couple this season.
Yes. Me too.
Okay. Where you want to start?
Okay. Let's start from the beginning. So I rewatched the last episode. So guys, this is where we are in the season. They released them in like 4s. So we're at
the course of a few weeks.
Where we at? We got 8 episodes right now. It's 8 episodes right now, and I think by the end it might be it's probably gonna be like 14 because it'll probably be 2 more. I think they're releasing 2,
and then a final,
and a finale. Then they usually have a reunion.
Right. The reunion. I forget about that.
We got about 10 to 12 episodes probably total. So we are on episode 8. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! We about
close your ears if you don't want to hear.
Yeah, and then watch it and then come back
or rewatch it afterwards.
Talk about it because it's just a good conversation. So this last episode, I don't know everyone's name, so I just put Nick.
Okay, tell me.
It started off, y'all. Okay, Bliss and the attorney.
What's his name?
It don't
Zach.
Matter. Oh, Zach. Okay, it does matter.
It don't matter.
I'm sorry, Zach. Because the couple was actually Zach and
I don't know her name.
Lucifer himself. That Irina.
Now she's somebody I want to see in the streets.
Oh, sis, we're gonna have to just start off hot because we have to start there. Do we? Or you want to ease on in?
I think I want to ease in because it kind of leads up to why we're here with her, specifically as it relates to her best friend.
Who are we starting with? I don't even know. You pick the
Okay. We won't start with okay. So Zach and we can just say at least Zach and Irina. He was dating 2 girls, and Bliss was definitely more poised. I mean, Irina and Bliss, their characters, their personalities, different sides of the spectrum, like literally.
We can't talk about them a little bit because I have a lot of thoughts on.
Okay.
So.
Okay, let's go on. Let's go with our favorite. With my favorite, I know, Tiffany and Brett. Oh my gosh!
Last forever.
Now let me tell you something. They better not throw a monkey wrench, and pull an old fast one, because I'm gonna find whoever decides to say no.
I'm gonna carry my behind to Seattle and cause a scene.
Pull up.
You started watching last season about a month ago and wanted to turn away. It sucks you in, cuz.
Sucks you right on in.
But this season, to me, so far, this is my second favorite of all of the seasons. Like, season with Lauren and Cameron is my ultimate favorite. But this season, I like this season more than season 2 and season 3 already.
I do too. But it's just okay. Tiffany and Brett, definitely favorites. The next one we'll talk about is Marshall and Jackie. That's who I thought was the witch child, because when she had that one scene when they was in the she was crying and she would be like hysterical crying at one point, and then she'd go to, "Did you have a good day today?"
She needs a smoke. That's what I wrote in my notes about her. Jackie needs a smoke break because mom's stressed.
Somebody needs to light a old.
Check on Jackie, y'all. Check on Jackie, y'all. Check on Jackie. Okay.
You know what? My theory is with her is that she
context, because we just going in talking about it.
Okay, sorry. So Marshall and Jackie.
Starting with Tiff and Brett.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tiff and Brett. You want to talk about them? Go ahead.
They're all of these couples are shocking.
Older. They're older.
They're the older couple. Tiffany's 36. Brett is 35.
Yeah.
They met in the pods, and I don't know if it was editing.
Made it all pretty.
Yeah, it seemed like they really, after they talked to each other, they just kind of locked in with each other. After one episode, when she said she thought she was falling in love with him, and she fell asleep on this man in the pod, girl, I cackled until I couldn't cackle no more.
I was so scared for her.
She said, "I'm tired, baby. I have to take a nap."
But you know what? I was thinking, because like you said, they be spending like 10 hours sometimes. I was like, dang, how long they have been in there? But I was literally with my hands over my mouth like, oh my God, please don't make him decide that he doesn't want to be with her because of this. I was so nervous.
That girl. He thought she had walked out on him. I really love Brett's story. So I'm going to kind of jump ahead. I love Brett's story. He talked about how he started designing shoes.
Yes.
Just being a loner, kind of a kid that was a loner. He started designing shoes, posting them online, and got recruited for, I guess, a gaming company. And then a year later, he got a job, I think, with Nike. It seems
Nike, yeah.
And now he's a director at Nike. He was like, he doesn't have a degree or anything. He just, God favored him, and now he has these things. One of the things,
come on, brother,
right?
Hey,
that I do want to point out, two things about Brett is he talked about how his family never says love.
I love you.
He lost a brother traumatically in a car accident, and I boo-hoo cried when I saw that scene.
Girl, uncontrollably.
Right. So, but I noticed that he does tell her that he loves her. So I thought that was really sweet. And then the other thing, I think Tiffany might be a little intimidated by his success.
She, you know what? I hope that it doesn't. Okay, because she says this comment a lot, bougie Brett, and
yes,
I was like, oh, he's not gonna take. You gonna have to stop saying that. He's not gonna take that very well. Like, it'll be different if he didn't have it, but he that, you know what? He that ninja.
Yeah.
He has every right if he is bougie.
Literally.
When she asked him what was the most he spent on an item, and he said, oh, I'm sorry, y'all, hold on. And he said, $1,200 on some luggage, and she was like, $1,200. I was like, girl, yeah. I could spend $1,200 on eating out over the weekend down here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, the Toomey suitcase, that's gonna run you 12. But and I don't know. I know that they live in Seattle, but even like she's a year older than him, and it might have been editing, but the setup was like her biggest thing that she was telling him about herself was like her career. She mentioned, I was the top salesperson at my job for 3 months in a row, and da da da. Like it seemed like she was really proud of where she is career-wise, and she should be.
She said that. She said she was comfortable with her salary.
They also mentioned she had a roommate.
I was about to say that.
But I'm like, it's Seattle, so I know Seattle is crazy expensive, but I'm like, if she's leading with all of this, I'm proud of, and I'm proud
And
of,
she's proud of what she makes.
but she has a roommate, she probably hasn't experienced. Obviously, I'm coloring in lines that she ain't said nothing about none of this, but she may not have had a lot of experience dating men that make more money than her. She's probably,
Yeah, that's true,
I'm
sis. That's a
saying,
good observation.
clear that Brett is like you can tell based on what he wears, his shoes, his house. Like he makes good.
He makes money.
Yeah, for sure.
Girl, let me tell you what caught my eye when he said when they were talking about finances, and he was like, she was like, oh yeah, I'm cool with what I make and blah 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 blah, and she was like, well yeah, I'm okay with me paying like 75% of the bills. I was like, you see that? That's a real man right there.
He
Now
definitely
that's a real man.
he
He was
seemed,
like, or whatever we decide. He was like, whatever we decide upon, I'm okay with that.
yeah. It seemed like that was the whole vibe with him. Like he just seemed like, because even when they were looking around, he was like, yeah, I mean, I could, if you like this building, I could just get a 3-bedroom,
Two or 3 bedroom. We
whatever.
can just move.
He was just saying it like, don't even.
Ain't no thing. Don't even worry about that, baby.
It is what it
I
is.
got it.
I'm like, okay, Brett.
He acted like Mr. Big in Sex and the City when they was up at the penthouse, and she was like, well, can we afford this? And he's like, I got it. Don't worry, baby, I got it. Come on, Brett, Mr. Big.
You are such a girl with your Sex in the City, Nisa. But yeah,
no, that's one of my favorite movies.
I know. But yeah, so they are definitely, they're the writing on the wall. They're gonna say yes. They're gonna be married forever. And I guess we can go ahead and, honestly, every other couple after them. I'm trying to do a quick calculation in my head. Yeah, every couple after them,
they ain't gonna make it.
I don't know. Oh, I mean,
they ain't gonna make it.
And Jackie, I put Marshall in my notes. I put Marshall, the politician.
I prayed for him. I had to pray for him because
pray harder.
Let me just say this though. I do think that he is like he could have a successful relationship. I feel like he's on the right track, and he actually, from what is perceived on television so far, minus one scene where he kind of just picked up and left, but it seems that he handles the pressure moments, difficult conversations very well. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. One of the things that I really did admire about him, and this is a sidebar where you talked about how Brett was talking about how his family never said "I love you." I'm sorry, excuse me, guys. I'm having a little snotty nose today.
It's all good. It's good. And everything.
Where Brett was like, it was one scene where Brett was like, and this is something that I do feel we should talk about more. He was saying that his family never told him they loved each other, and he said sometimes he'll be talking to his dad and he'll be on the phone and he'll be like, okay, bye, son, and he'll be like, okay, well, is my dad about to say I love you? And then he doesn't say it, and then he's like, well, am I gonna say it? And I don't end up saying it. And then one of the things that I can respect about Marshall was his input to say, I appreciate us, because it was 3 Black guys there talking about it. And he was like, I appreciate us having this conversation because you don't see a lot of guys that look like us talking about, hey, I love you, bro. And he was like, he made it a point to say that there are people that have passed on that I never got a chance to say, I love you. And I wish I had that chance. So he was like, that's an important conversation pretty much to have. So I could respect him for that. Did you remember that part?
I absolutely remember that part. And I do like Marshall. A quick overview of their love story. So Marshall was pretty much all in with Jackie in the pods. He was only really dating her. Jackie had another guy that she was dating. Marshall, and his name is John. He looked like Miguel 3.0.
Girl.
What's his deal? But he's aggy.
Just beat him up. Yeah, somebody just need to beat him up.
Aggravating. But anyway, or his edit is aggravating. So yeah, she ended up choosing him. She was saying her normal type is like this boisterous macho man that she normally goes for, but she was like, with Marshall, that's the kind of guy that she deserves to be with. She deserves healthy, non-toxic love. And so she said,
Yeah.
they, it seemed like they had a pretty good go at it on the little vacations. They were connecting. They ended up consummating, or I don't know, having the sex in there.
Consummating.
Yeah, I don't
having the sex.
Yeah, they
you
did.
Having the sex? Is you having the sex?
They did it. She gave it rave reviews, and then she gave it rave reviews.
Out of control.
And then, girl, out of nowhere, she started.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Out of nowhere, she started having these like meltdowns. Like I don't know if you would call it tantrums, but definitely meltdowns where she would just kind of start crying. And one time she went off and was like, "Oh, I gotta go home to all this ish, man. I gotta go home to all this ish." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is the ish that she's got to go back home to?" Jeez. But
Girl.
I heard that I must have missed this part. But apparently her father was diagnosed with cancer. So
I didn't know that.
Dealing with apparently some heavy
stuff. When did she say that?
I don't know if I heard this on a podcast that I was watching.
Oh, okay.
Or if it was mentioned on the show. I think I definitely heard it on a podcast. But
okay.
Assumed that she mentioned it on the show. So don't take that.
I never heard that. But she was just acting. It was really. At first, I was thinking that I was like, maybe she's just really drunk because she was really like, she was crying and she was fixing her hair and she was like, today was a really good day. And then all of a sudden, I'm reenacting, guys. Okay, y'all ready? Marshall snapped up Jackie to get the girl.
Like proposed, like you think he
Marshall?
The other guy wanted her, and he was like, no, because he did have some of that on him when he heard somebody else was trying to be with her. He was like,
he did. No, I'm gonna stand up for mine. I'm a man up. No, I wasn't having that.
This for sure. She was having meltdowns because she knew she wasn't into. Yeah, and she feels.
And that's a good point.
Yeah, they're young too.
But she is, you know what? I think he said it best because Marshall did say, Jackie is, she wants a toxic kind of love.
Yeah.
And we know that there are just people out there that they don't know how to not be in toxic relationships. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I thought him even saying that out loud, I'm like, you're spot on. She just does not know. Even when it was time for her to meet his family and she was all stressed out and like, you know, I was like, girl, chill the F out. What is wrong with you? You about to croak over and die and act as if it's the end of the world. But it is true because she knows that she doesn't really like him like that. She's not into him. I believe that.
I can see that too. And I think they're not young. 26 to me, I think they're both 26. That's young, but it's old enough.
It's old enough.
Yeah, it's old enough to know, pick the right person, silly. So, I mean, she'll learn.
Or don't go on a show called Love is Blind.
Or that.
Blind love, if you don't really want blind love.
You mentioned something earlier about you were saying he was wrong for leaving. I agree. The only thing that pissed me off is every single time she had a meltdown, it would be like, I need a minute. He would give her space. But
he would.
Time, it was justified. Like, at least on...
I get it. Absolutely.
On editing, her meltdown seemed like nothing happened. She's just in her head and she snaps. He left because he called him less than a man.
Yeah.
I was like, no, he should have left.
And then at the end, she was all just grabbing him, hugging him. Girl, if you don't shut your cry, I'm sick of her crying. Man up.
Check on Jackie, y'all.
She ain't stable.
Mama.
At one point, she was like, she took some medication. He asked her if she wanted something to drink. Then nope, I don't need nothing. She just swallowed them pills and she went on about her business. Then she got up later, grabbed something to drink, and she was like on the counter. She just goes, put that back in her fridge.
I was like, she is on Jackie.
She a loose one.
Check on Jackie, y'all. That's what I need to title the episode. Check on y'all. Sis, he got her back though when he said, "I see you as a project."
Girl, I was floored. I was like, right, because she's definitely a project girl. She went the F off, and then he cleaned it up so smooth. I was like, boy, you did a good job, but you should have just kept it going because that's what she needs.
That's my boy Marshall, the politician. Yo, that's how I have him in my notes. Marshall, the politician. When he said, "I see you as a project," and then proceeded
to explain
every point by point, you've never had a serious relationship. You can't do this. I was like, Marshall, give her a break, brother.
No, and then when she was like, when they moved in together, when they were like moving into their place, and she was like, "How often do you clean?" You know, we have to clean the bathroom like 4 times a week, and I'm like, there is no way you're crazy behind this cleaning nothing 4 times a week.
Say that again.
They were when they were moving into their own space together. They were in the bathroom, and she was like, "How often do you clean?" to Marshall. And he was like, "Oh, I clean up, you know, like dishes, blah, blah, blah." She was like, "Well, we need to clean the bathroom 4 times a week." And he was like, "Whoa." She's like, "You know, maybe because I'm a dental assistant, you know, but I just have to have everything clean." And I was like, there's no way you clean a bathroom 4 times a week, Jackie. Jackie, sit down somewhere.
No, Jackie need to be meditated 4 times a week.
She do.
Woo sock. Now, remind me who Chelsea is. Colin said Marshall is kind of boring, which might have been good for someone like Chelsea. Who is Chelsea? I can't remember who that is.
You know who the hell Chelsea is? White girl.
Which one?
Kwame girl.
Lord, I just got
to talk about it. Let's go on and talk about it.
Yeah, I put and her name in my notes is Hype Man because she is hyper. I didn't know her name, Chelsea.
And she's so loud. She is the most loudest creature ever. I'm like, girl, no wonder you want a black man because you're just as loud as we is, if not louder.
I have so many thoughts about Chelsea Hype Man. McGee, you start, sis. Give us an overview of who they were in the pods and how.
Yes. So Chelsea and Kwame were dating in the pods, along with Kwame and Micah. Remember? They were dating. He was torn between the both of them, and I can't remember what initially changed to where he just decided. Kwame and Micah had a conversation in the pods that made him feel as though she was exploring other options, but he was heartbroken over that. Like he was like crying. He was like crying.
She straight up broke up with him.
She broke up with him
straight up because remember her and old boy had a conversation and they both had to break it off with the people.
Yes, that's right.
So that's what happened with him. He was devastated.
He was boo-hoo. You know what that reminded me of?
Who? I mean, what?
It reminded me of the same thing that happened with Jared and his girl the last season.
Yep.
And instead of them just recognizing that, you know what, I really didn't make a love connection here, and I came here, and the person that I really truly felt I was in love with, it didn't work out. It's time for me to part ways and leave. They just chose the second best. And then by the time...
just so they could be on the show.
Just so they could be on the show.
All right.
And then by the time they get to the part after they done, most of them done consummated the marriage, and then see everybody afterwards, they're like, "Oh my God, all these strong feelings came back for such and such." Boy, I want to go upside Kwame head. Okay. That's it in a nutshell, I guess. So Kwame decided as a second choice to pick Chelsea. Chelsea is madly and head over, jump out the airplane head first and kill myself for Kwame.
It's uncomfortable how much she's into him.
It's almost to the point where I'm like, is this Get Out? Like, are you trying to get Are you trying to pull a get out? Like, why are you so invested like this, baby?
She gives fetish. It definitely is given like she's a white woman and he's black. I mean he's
African
like
American
from an African country. But yeah, it's uncomfortable.
creepy.
It's uncomfortable.
But
Just, baby, okay, baby. Babe.
She's always, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm like, girl, he said I love you that first month. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
She gonna have to.
And girl, did you?
Her ears and her eyes.
She needs some Ritalin. Listen,
yeah.
when she was standing there talking about when they first consummated their relationship, and she was just like, it was like our souls were intertwined. She was like, it was nothing but making love. It wasn't even like it was the first time. It was like it was so organic and natural, and I get to experience this for the rest of my life. I was like, girl,
you need to watch his back because Chelsea,
she gonna kill. She
sleep. Will go crazy if things don't.
Oh, she got my head itching. She's scary.
She's intense. She is intense. She's intense. She's intense, but I really don't.
About him.
He's clearly like performing, and I'm just like, dang, bro, he really is sticking in there with the performance. I mean, I don't know how he's committing to it for so long.
He's committed. You hear me? You know why? They gotta offer. We talked about this before. They gotta offer them something for them to get to the finish line, because there's no way you could be that motivated just for fame. I feel like even for the length of time that they've been together, he could have gotten a little fame that he needed, but there's got to be something at the end for them to really be pressing, trying to get to that final day.
It must
I don't know.
Be a daily payout or something.
Maybe they got a per diem.
Yeah, he's trying to get all his days work. But anyway, like he was that conversation that him and Micah were having at the pool.
Oh yes. Talk about what happened though. So that was Micah and him.
Micah was the other girl that he was dating that with him in the pods before they saw each other. When everyone had picked their final matches and made their proposals, he made his to Chelsea. Another guy made his to Micah. The couples all met on that trip that everyone took together after, they finally got to meet their fiancés. So they send them to some
resort,
beach vacation. And that's the first time that everyone gets to see the people that they didn't pick, they didn't get matched with. Because for the pods section, the guys live with the guys and the girls live with the girls. So first time that they all got to see each other. And when Kwame saw Micah, the girl that he didn't choose, they both were white women. I'm not hopefully don't, that it just is tight. He was smitten by Micah, and he was saying that they still had a deep connection, and Micah was basically going along with it. And they were very cozy, very drunk, obviously, like just saying
very flirty, touchy-feely.
It was a whole thing. Oh yeah, and then Chelsea got upset, and it was a whole thing, and they worked it out, they sorted it out. But it's just clear to me that Kwame is not really into Chelsea at all.
He's not. He's just for play, for show.
He's like, okay.
Even for him to go back to the whole conversation with the guys at Chelsea's birthday celebration, he was talking about her, and he was talking to her. Yeah. I mean, asking her inappropriate questions, and I'm like, y'all do know that they're gonna play this over again, right? Like, I'm sorry,
It's weird. It's like that they don't know that they are capturing all of this footage on camera, and
y'all do know that they're going to play this back, and the person that you claim to be so in love with is going to see all the dirt that you did.
It's weird.
It's unbelievable.
We're going to have to move on to, speaking of Micah, let's go ahead and move on to Micah and her dude. I called them Barbie and Ken. I forgot what's her man name?
Paul.
Paul.
So let me tell you just real quick about Micah. her overbite it does it for me.
Them teeth that
It's the overbite that does it for me.
I feel comfortable being a mean girl to her because she is such a mean girl and she's posing as whatever she needs to pose
She's
as.
posing as for him.
I don't even think she likes him.
And he's so I like him a lot. He's so
so
cute.
And I like him too. But
he reminds me of our brother.
Oh yes.
Little.
He befriended her. She made friends with Irina, which tells me pretty much everything that I need to know. But also on the last episode, her friends, they have a very uncomfortable
strange
with this
girl. Let me tell you something. Go ahead. Talk about it.
So I personally think that, and there were a couple of other things in this throughout. Yes, that's what it seemed like. But there were a couple of other things throughout Micah's the way that she's being edited and her whole showing that made me feel like, oh no, she really is just acting. This is a launching pad for her career. Whatever she's into, she says she's like a marketing manager.
Yeah, it's publicity.
For me to feel like she actually will marry Paul. I think she likes him enough.
Oh.
I definitely don't think she's really trying to be in a relationship or even marry him. A couple of things. So first, the weird friendships. Second, she lives. It was interesting because she was like she lives like in Arizona and Seattle. I'm like, nah. Her parents probably live in Seattle. She heard about the show being in Seattle, so that's where that whole bi-coastal thing is probably coming up at. Thirdly, when he met their parents, she was like, oh yeah, I haven't told my parents anything. She didn't tell her parents. She at that meeting was the first time she told them she was engaged, asked them if they wanted to come to the wedding in 2 weeks. They didn't know anything about her being like,
I don't like people like that.
This whole thing on the show. So I was like,
red flag.
I think I don't know. Micah, she's better at playing the mean girl role than Irina was, because Irina is just like Satan
out there.
Yeah. Micah at least is like, I need to appear likable. So that then she can sneakily
reel it on in,
mean and manipulative and get her own agenda done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel bad for Paul because he seems like he seems very
like a really nice guy,
logical, and I mean he's very cute. So I know he doesn't have a hard time dating, but
he is cute.
It seems like he really likes her. The preview. Did you catch the preview?
That's what I was about to say. The preview where they flashed a girl, her best friend, who was talking about he's not the one. He's not the one for you. And then how she got upset about him saying, I don't care. And she's like, well, you should care. No, bitch, I really actually shouldn't care because this has nothing, me and you have nothing to do with your friend unless this is 1, 2, 3. Is this a what, we got a sister wife thing going on? Otherwise, shut the F up forever. Okay? But back to the clip that we saw when I guess it was her turn to say I do or not. And she was like, I think the best thing for us right now is for you to go first. I would leave her at that altar. I hope Paul get on the good fit and be like, man, F you, B.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't trust her. I don't trust her. You gotta pay attention to the company that people keep. And she kept the by far worst company there ever could be. So we might as well move on to that couple now.
The Zach and who was at first, it was Irina. Irina was okay, so Zach and Irina, and it was Zach and Irina, and then it was Zach and Bliss, and those were the two total opposite girls, like total opposite. Like it was literally like a church girl versus the devil himself, right? The good angel and the bad angel.
Yes.
And you know what's interesting? Bliss even said to Zach, you know what? If you choose Irina, that shows me what kind of person you are. And I wish she wouldn't have doubled down on it. I wish she would have stood firm, 10 toes down on that. No, my Nick. No, my Nick. You choose her?
Saying that.
No, she wasn't. what did you feel about? We'll talk about that. You talk about that, and then I also want to talk about Irina's crush on Paul.
We might as well talk about that, period.
Okay.
When they showed that clip of her walking up to him in the pool, grabbing his foot, like his toe foot, sensually, I was like, now, where do they do that at?
She would have got bopped upside the head. Said a oops upside the head. Said a oops upside the head. Hey.
Okay, First Lady Nuck, if you butt. Handle that, please. Okay?
Okay.
Now, that's the one. That's when you get right about it when a girl's really straight up disrespecting you and your man. Irina, first of all, I'm about to be mean to Irina because
Okay, yes, let's do it. Let's be mean girls for just a split second. Don't listen to us, y'all. Don't listen to us. But let's go.
Irina, you can't be ugly inside and outside.
Come on!
Pick one.
Pick your battle, boo.
Now you gonna look like that in the face and not have a good personality? You gonna have to work on that.
Nerve.
You gonna have to work on that.
To act like somebody when he telling you beautiful. Girl, you better taste that goddamn compliment with your ugly self.
That's how he sees it. I couldn't find the beauty. I was looking. Beauty ain't her name. That's your theme song. I was so furious with her. Like
I was so annoyed.
That really pisses me off is Mean Girls. Like
Mean Girls. And then you got the audacity to be an ugly mean girl. Not to say that any mean girl is you shouldn't be a mean girl at all. But like you said, you can't be ugly on the inside and outside. She was just flat out just
mean.
Gutter.
A low down, dirty scallywag. Ain't got no hair in the back. What they said? Ain't that the songwriter say?
Yes, you quoted that thing, baby. Come on, somebody, you rapper.
She is just the worst kind of person. Like, she's the type of person that if anyone
trolled really bad,
not like a blood relative or didn't know her before she became the devil, like that's the only type of reason I could see you being a friend of hers, and then I could say that you might be still a good person. If you met her full form, like how she is today, and how evil she is, and how intentionally evil, and how she plants seeds of chaos, and just really be trying to make people look silly and it, oh my God, it made my skin crawl.
Girl, when Bliss was making those cupcakes and she asked if she could borrow one of her candles, you know what? Yes, let me light it first and then let me in your face. Yes. I don't like to say hate, but she teetering on that line.
That couldn't have been the Atlanta season because they knew where to let Irina pull up in Seattle because it wasn't enough Nieces and Laurens in the quads.
Because we bucking and ready to fight.
Oh, I almost threw
that girl got my. Be careful, baby. Let me woo it.
Let me calm your down.
And then not only was she just such a mean girl, and Micah was her best friend, and they're just like two peas in a pod. But then when she apparently confessed to Micah on their trip back that she had a thing for Paul, let me tell you this, and then I'm gonna give you my thoughts on why she feels so freely, possibly, of coming at her man, right?
I got to
know. Micah decided when Micah and Paul are together, but Micah's best friend, who's the mean girl, Irina, she actually was attracted to Paul the first day that they met. Now, this is another thing I feel like. It's funny how they set it up because all the couples, still only them two are sent to the destination, and they spend the very first night only together before they see all of the other couples. They need to be seeing all the other couples before they spend the first night together, but it wouldn't make for a show. I know, right? Yeah. However, when Irina finally sees Paul. She's like, "Oh, he's my type. I'm attracted to him." Blah 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 blah. But I know it sounds weird saying that because that's my best friend's man. And so then Irina proceeds to let Micah know how she feels for Paul. And after Micah tells Paul about it and is basically trying to figure out, well, she's telling me that she has feelings for you. Do you have feelings for her? He's like, no, but I mean, she was kind of weird at the pool. I didn't want to say anything because, I'm not into her. So then Micah goes to meet with Irina. Am I saying her name right?
Yes.
Yeah, Irina.
Actually, not right. It's pronounced Lucifer.
Lucifer.
That's how you say.
AKA the devil. When she went to meet with the devil, Micah asked her again, like, do you have feelings for Paul? And she is like, yes. I mean, and when there was one point where she said, I don't know if anything would ever come, like, to the point where if anything would ever come about with Paul. And I'm like, this just crazy. She wants to die. You're gonna sit there, Micah, and not kill her?
Micah had a good point when she said that's pretty effed up that you didn't have a connection with him in the past, but as soon as you saw him, you were like, oh, he's my type. Now I got a crush on him. You remember when Micah?
No, yes,
yeah.
She did. That was the most educated thing she said since she's been on the show.
Yeah.
But you know what my theory is, for real, because they are so close. My theory is Micah has been talking about her not being interested in Paul. And because of that, Irina thinks that she can make a pass at him.
That I could see that.
And she's probably already told her that she's not going to move forward with them, blah, 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 blah. She's had to have some kind of conversation for her to think that it's okay. Like, as a human, you think it's okay to come on to another woman's man. Like, we're about to go down the aisle in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think she's been having conversations.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I could totally see that. We look, I'm completely off Irina. Like
I can't even believe they let her still on the show. She need to just.
And Micah, I got my good eye on her. I got my good eye on Micah. I do. But we got to move on.
Yeah. Is
attorney Zach and Bliss.
Oh.
Did we talk about them already?
No, we didn't. So when you want to talk about what happened with Zach and Irina first?
Yes. So so basically, I think
the first time this has happened.
Zach in the pods before they saw each other was dating Irina and Bliss. And like Nisa said, they are polar opposites. It's just like the angel on the right shoulder, the devil on the left.
Yeah.
The devil being Irina, Bliss being the angel. And basically in the end, Zach chose Irina first to propose to. And Irina was like, yes, she was all in. She, basically convinced him. I think she was convincing him because he was the only person that was into her and she just wanted to be on the show. I don't even think she was really
into
pods.
Yeah. She was just there trying to be a mean girl and
and so discord and all confusion in the
got cold now. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm listening.
Yeah, no. So anyway, Zach ended up proposing to Irina. Irina said yes. They end up meeting each other, and when they first came out and revealed, Zach looked like he just saw Bigfoot pull up to the scene with his ceiling missing. I was like, ooh, he thinks she's ugly. Did you think that, sis?
I think that he's just an odd looking person, and he's just looking like we both did it. He's like, and then he doesn't have a real smile. It's just like a. I couldn't tell, and it was icky.
He looked like he did not like what he had saw. To me,
but she definitely did it. She said it.
She said she didn't like what she saw, which shook me because I was like,
girl, what are your options out here in these streets?
I want to know what she normally pulls. Is she rich or something? Like, is she a sugar mama?
She might be. You know what? That would make sense if she's rich as to why she thinks she can be a mean girl and be ugly.
That's her thing. It says she's a business owner, so I think she has like some sort of success. But anyway,
she ain't got no success, not on her own.
Ugh.
You know, Donald Trump and his story. His daddy gave him just a little loan of $1 million to get started. So that's what they all say.
Exactly. But okay, so this is my theory with Zach. In the end, he said that he chose because he was bawling, crying when he broke up with Bliss.
I was like, boy, get it together.
He broke up with her and was like,
and he was
told.
Wrong choice.
This is my theory. So he said that he ultimately chose Irina over Bliss because he trusted Irina the most. What I heard him say was he felt like he wasn't good enough for Bliss.
I think so too, Lauren.
I personally think that's why he chose Irina. I think he felt like Bliss was the best woman out of the two, and he would have been lucky to be with her. But when he kept harping on, he was saying stuff like, I don't want your family to judge my past and how I grew up. I can't recall how he grew up, but there was something.
His mom was a stripper, girl. He talked about that so daggone much. I was like, boy, you know how many strippers I know? Who cares that your mom was a stripper? She put food on the table, didn't she? She fed you. She clothed you. Ain't nobody gonna judge you.
Lisa, I was wondering what he was. I missed that part.
She was a stripper. Okay. My mom and he just was. My mom was a stripper, and people just. Well, don't tell her she was a stripper. Then, duh. You're a freaking lawyer. You know how to lie. It just really irked me. I really, actually, honestly, early on, I didn't like him because I was like, "That's your trauma." That your mom was a stripper?
No, that's what it was, girl.
That's his trauma that his mom was a stripper. You know what? Let me tell you something. Strippers make good money.
Good, clean
money. Clean money. Ain't nobody got nothing to get. Listen, don't listen to me. But listen, what is we talking about? Go to therapy and get over your mama taking care of you by any means necessary. Stop crying about it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You had to get that off your chest, child. And
because it's me off. He kept talking about that.
I did not know that was the whole thing. But he kept saying, like, I don't want people to judge me. Like, it almost felt like.
And she's dead. Not to be sensitive, but she's not even here no more. She is not even here no more. Why would people ask you what your mama do? She ain't with us.
Oh boy.
Judging you. I'm sorry, y'all. It really just I was wondering. What was
okay, we're gonna have to add him to the list. Check on Jackie and check on Zach, y'all. Check on Zach too. But he kept saying, like, people are gonna like, I felt like he, through his conversation with Bliss, he knew that she came from a good family, traditional family, wholesome family, and he felt like if he were to come in with the way that he was brought up, they would. And Bliss had even said to him, like, "Oh yeah, my dad doesn't think any
man is good enough for me."
And so I think for him, he might have just felt like, I'm not going to be accepted once she really gets to know me, and her family knows me, then they're going to judge me. And then Irina, she was like, I know Bliss she talks so proper. She knows, like, she has a big vocabulary and I don't have the best vocabulary and all of this. So she was making it seem like, yeah, I'm not as good as her in this traditional package way. And I think he heard that as like, oh yeah, Irina, she wouldn't judge.
It's a project.
Shout out to Marshall, the politician. Girl, so I really think that's why he chose Irina. I think,
I
and
can agree with that.
conversations with someone about this is where people get it effed up, myself included, is you pick people to partner with from an unhealthy place. Like when you're unhealed or you're still just picking from your unhealed, but if you're picking from a place of pain or a place of trauma and you're
Come
still
on.
and that is they're triggering something in you that calls you back to that trauma and you pick that person based on that, that's never good. That's never gonna work because you're not picking them for where you're going or from
it's not the right reasons. Yeah,
not the right reasons. I think that was like that to me was the biggest thing with Zach picking Irina. He picked her from his trauma.
that's real, sis. You said a mouthful right there, and you was spot on, Johnny on the spot, baby. Come on now, you call that thing. Hello, cousin. Call that spade a spade, baby. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that he felt like he needed a project, and he was not secure enough in himself to pick someone that seems to be well-rounded, seasoned, just has a good head on her shoulder. And he's probably another one that I don't know. He like you said, you're picking from your hurt traumas, your hurt pain, your pain. He clearly is unhealed from talking about that stripper mama of his. Maybe Irina was down at the, the club shaking a little tail feather. Who knows? Maybe that's why he was attracted to her. She seemed like that type of girl based on her actions, but she was down at Fulton Industrial dancing. She wasn't down at the, not in Buckhead. She was down at Fulton Industrial. Okay, let's just be clear. There are clear distinctions between the two type of dancers. Okay.
That's the caliber of woman Irina is.
Yeah, that's exactly what kind of caliber.
A project, not a partner, when he picked Irina. Then he saw quickly that grand opening and grand closing, baby.
You know what? When he had conversations with her like, hey, you got to put in the effort too. And finally, I guess like their last day before they were ready to fly out, he was just like, what are we doing here? I think we should call it quits, Do you see how much she talked about Paul?
Yes. She was
It was
talking
uncomfortable.
Paul like he was her good girlfriend.
Best friend.
Yeah, it was like she had been waiting this whole time to just
let me just get it out. I've been dying to tell you how much I like Paul.
Yeah,
it was weird, man.
Very, very weird. I was a little surprised. Okay, so this is my thoughts about Bliss when he finally. I actually, because they don't look like a couple. I wouldn't put them together, Bliss and.
Not at all. Not at all.
They actually, when Bliss started talking and they was bonding over Harry Potter and different like quirky stuff, I was like, oh, they are like the same kind of weird for each other.
Yeah, she's really quirky like that. She's a nerd.
She's a nerd and she's so cute. But
so
yeah,
pretty. She's really
she's
pretty.
Really pretty, and she seems very smart though. And I got the impression that she feels silly because she said yes. Like she kept saying like, I feel so stupid because I knew before you knew. And she kept saying things like, I could only imagine how she feels being this beautiful woman who is smart and seemingly successful and comes from a good background to, in her mind, she's like, I'm his second
choice.
And she's like, I just feel so. And even when they were all together and, everybody was like, Bliss, she was just like, I know, like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Like, what did I do? Why did I do that? Like,
I think she really does have a strong connection with him. I think she's telling the truth.
I do too, but I feel so bad for her because
I do, yeah.
feels like because she said yes and she was the second proposal, she's feeling
She's
like
trying to defend
silly
herself
for,
or
for
okay.
believing him, like for believing
Yeah.
that she's not the second choice, And I feel bad. I feel bad that she feels like that because to me, even though you know how we talk about Jared and Ayana and Kwame and Chelsea, to me this is a little different. Do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Because at this point, Bliss had every option to just be like, no, I ain't effing with you. No, I don't want to see you. No, I don't want to meet. Or even if they did meet, no, I'm not gonna marry you. You know what I'm saying? She had that she did not have to go down this path, especially giving the fact that he chose someone else at first and not her. But she made this choice ultimately, and either she's gonna rock it out and she gonna move past it and move forward, and they're gonna meet down the aisle and they're gonna say yes, or she's gonna decide that, you know what, this is too much. But I think she's going to beat herself up about it. It's
Yeah,
going to cause even more doubt in her,
I think so.
and she's not going to be able to successfully move forward, or give it her all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
It's gonna.
it is tricky because I even kind of feel like it's definitely different in that regard, and I think it's also different from his perspective. Like
Yeah.
some reason, I don't look at him proposing to Irina first and then proposing to her second the same way as I look at Kwame wanting to propose to
Exactly.
and then
100%.
to me
It's a difference.
it does feel different, and the best way that I could make it kind of connect is because I think I think he realized clearly that
Early on.
he made the wrong choice,
Yeah.
and I don't think that, like he said, I don't think that there's any part of him that feels like no, Irina actually he has any sort of feelings, or there's any part of him that wishes he was with Irina. And there's clearly parts of Kwame that would have loved to be with Micah. There were clearly parts of old boy from last season that wanted to be with that
Jared.
girl, and he saw her. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, it does feel very different. It feels
It
very.
is different.
I think he really is into her, especially now that he's seen. They've spent time, and he's like they're
Yeah.
still just as strong.
Honestly, I hope they last. I mean, he's a defense attorney. He making that butter, baby. Yeah, and he said he had just started his own company or his own firm.
Did.
So I'm like, well, girl, go ahead and get you a old lawyer and be an old housewife or something. But I think if they really, really are into each other and really want to make it work, then they absolutely can. I do, because I think it, like you said, is different from, oh, I picked my second choice, but I really want my first choice.
Right.
No, he actually went with maybe his first choice and made a decision early on. No, this isn't who I'm rocking with, and let me just try and run run this thing back and see how it works. And so far, it's worked out for him. So I'm still rooting for him, even though I think he's a little creepy, but I'm rooting for him.
He is a little odd, but they seem like they can make it together. Let's run down the list to conclude this because we've literally talked about that's all we've talked about.
Yeah, but yeah. But that's it. That's it. That's it.
Let's
That's it.
let's
That's all.
through the couples and tell who you think will say yes at the altar. Both
Uh-huh.
people will say yes, and they'll be married. And which couples do you think will get divorced or not get divorced, but will not say yes at the altar? Bliss and Zach. Do you think yes or no they're staying together?
They might. Yes. I think they might.
I think it's a yes. I think they're both going to say yes at the altar.
Yeah. Y'all, we casting our votes.
Y'all let us know what y'all think too. Everybody, y'all can watch the show. It is very good. Tiffany and Brett.
If they don't make it, then I'm finding both of them and slapping them upside the head. They better make it. I'm rooting for them.
I'm flying to Seattle and proposing to Brett myself.
Sue me. I'm rooting for everybody black. Okay.
They are gonna make it. No, they were meant for each other. Yes.
Yeah.
They're gonna be married forever. Kwame and Chelsea.
You know what? She gonna definitely say yes. And hold on, let me just put this insert in. Do you remember when she was so nervous about her dad meeting him? I mean, this was the most. She was like a totally different person. You know why I thought she was nervous. It ended up actually the meet and greet ended up going very well, but I thought she was nervous because he was a black man.
Me too.
Did you?
I thought she was nervous because he's black. She was
okay. Glad we on the same page.
Anyway,
I don't know, because I think more from Kwame will come out about Micah, to where he just puts his foot in his mouth so many times to where maybe I don't feel like she will snap out of it and be like, she probably is one of the ones that will, oh, we can work through it. But I don't think he will say yes. I don't think he'll say yes. I don't think he will.
I would be surprised if he says yes. I don't think they're gonna make it. Definitely don't think they're gonna make it. Okay, Paul and Micah.
Girl, after that last scene, hell to the no, 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 no. Don't do it, Paul. Run.
Paul, get out. And last but not least, Jackie and Marshall.
No, Marshall just need to go ahead and somebody gonna be coming for him after this show.
I think he will make it, because he wanted to put it all on her. Like, she likes that toxic love. So does he, because he said this wasn't his first girlfriend like that. So
I didn't hear that.
He like it too. He likes.
I didn't hear that.
Knight in shining armor, like the guy that's so good to these girls who is crazy.
She is going to run circles around this fool. Ooh. I feel bad for him if they get married, because he ain't gonna have no balls.
Not in public.
Not a one.
Will be stores, but anyway. So that's our prediction. Y'all let us know what y'all think. We
over time
discussed, but we're gonna have to say that for next week, because we've been talking about this show for much longer than I anticipated.
That's what happens. When we don't get to talk about certain things during the week like we usually do.
Exactly.
We just fill it all out on here.
All right, y'all. Woo! Next week we will be back with our wine. So y'all better. I'm planning ahead. I already know what I'm drinking.
Planning ahead.
Oh, yeah, I already know.
Yes. Oh, good.
Y'all, it's Resurrection Sunday coming up this weekend, y'all. Lift up Jesus. Jesus. Lift up Jesus. Jesus.
I got another one. Jesus is the reason for the season. Yeah. Yes, he is. Oh, yes, he is. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I know that's really a Christmas song, but we'll fit it.
It does go. Y'all have a good I know
everybody. Let me say my I gotta close this out. I gotta close this out real quick. It's just a real quick, little simple, real quick. Like, if you want better, go get better.
Oh! I felt that.
Unknown. I'll claim it.
All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Y'all be safe. We'll see y'all here next week. Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday, I believe, next week. Bye.
With me and my snotty nose. Bye.